Ali Abdelaziz. Heard a snitch.
Ali.
You keep your mouth shut, kid. How's Noah? How's Noah, huh? Yeah.
Here with Ali Abdelaziz, the agent of Khabib Nurmagomedov, who was one half of, it could be the biggest fight in UFC history.
Fake names, forged documents, federal informant code names, security company fronts, matchmaking conflicts, and one of the loudest managers in MMA tweeting from his fighters' accounts.
I see him. I promise you, I'm gonna smack him.
Why?
In this video, how Ali Abdelaziz went from an Olympic training center hopeful to confidential informant number 184 to one of the most powerful figures in the UFC machine. You guys asked for it, and I'm giving it to you, the Ali Abdelaziz deep dive. Now, one thing that I gotta say before we get started, all criminal allegations in this video are stated from publicly available documents or on-the-record sources. If there's any claims that are unverified or disputed, I will say that. Also, I will be making a lot of statements of opinion in this video. This video is meant to be a commentary and investigative piece and not to be taken as clear-cut facts. In other words, Ali, don't sue me. This isn't just rumors. We're pulling from police reports, court filings, declassified summaries, and on-camera statements. This is The Informant, how Ali Abdelaziz took over MMA. If this is your first time seeing my channel, my name is Wyatt, and this is Fight Society. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe down below and become a channel member if you want access to bonus content. All right, let's get into it. Ali Abdelaziz, born in Egypt, trained in judo, lands at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs in 1996. Unlike his cousin, Greco-Roman gold medalist Karam Gaber, there's no record he ever made an Olympic team, but he did cycle through the Olympic Training Center residency stints and local judo. By mid-2001, Colorado Springs Police Department starts connecting dots. Home Depot gift card fraud using a stolen credit card. Follow-ups from the police ID'd Ragbi Fekri Abdelaziz and a second suspect. By July 30th, the victim is named and the pattern is laid out. Buy small items, cash out the balance, repeat. Investigators document overlapping identities. Robert Earl Britton, Lillian Husk, later discovered to be deceased, Lionel Gomez Nunez, and variations of Ali's own name. Certain redacted police report pages point to a roommate finding multiple social security numbers, birth certificates, and a Colorado ID in the name of Robert Earl Britton, but with Ali's photo, and he apparently has a friend who makes credit cards. Warrants were issued on August 10th for search and arrest of Ali Abdelaziz. They seize vials of labeled testosterone and Narendran, a steroid, reportedly made in Mexico. The Olympic Training Center's security chief confirms that banned substances are prohibited, though routine testing wasn't in place at the time. The circle widens. A cousin, Mohammed Hassan, overstays his visa, says he lived in Jersey City before Colorado, gets detained at the Olympic Training Center on August 20th. A friend, Orlando Estevan Fuentes, appears in the judo orbit with citizenship claims scrutinized. Another contact, Matthew Tulifuga, tells police Ali paid him to open bank accounts under the name Lillian Husk. Police reports also link Ali to a known Muslims of America associate in Colorado. Now, Muslims of America is a political extremist group that has taken hold in multiple U.S. states at the time. Tabari Malik Zahir, later convicted in 2004 in a major cocaine case. Investigators note deposits from Ali Abdelaziz into an account tied to Zahir with withdrawals in California. Already you can see Ali's triangle scheme coming together of forged identities, Olympic Training Center access, and a very close proximity to the Muslims of America group. That triangle is coming together to put together the pieces of the next 10 years of Ali's life. But the real pivot in Ali's life that would change the course of his career, his life, and his citizenship status comes when he was arrested in December of 2001. And that was when he offered the government something that they value way more than a quick conviction: charges, custody, and the pivot to informant. A custody report from December 18th, 2001 notes forgery, impersonation, conspiracy, accessory, theft, and unauthorized use of a financial device. And a search warrant returned from December 20th noted ammunition. Ali tells investigators that he used the Robert Britton identity to obtain a passport, first to visit a dying mother in Egypt, And then, under pressure, he admits he also needed U.S. citizenship optics to enter judo competitions in Florida and Louisiana. He offers cooperation to the government immediately, naming associates and pointing to Zahir as a document source. Over 2002 and 2003, the case winds through court, multiple counts dismissed or acquitted, and 2 misdemeanor convictions. Criminal impersonation and 2 misdemeanor convictions for Ali Abdelaziz. Criminal impersonation to gain benefit, and criminal possession of a financial transaction device. Result was a short sentence with credit for time served. A national security-related sentencing hearing is held on camera, transcript sealed. Now, behind the scenes, something else happens. According to the NYPD Intelligence Division and journalists Adam Goldman and Matt Apuzzo, Ali becomes confidential informant number 184, codenamed Dolphin at the NYPD for his rapid-fire speech. And the FBI's codename for him was Tap Out, given his many losses in his early MMA career. And Ali, you gotta give it to him in some ways, he found a way to get paid multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars as an informant. And he was issued a special green card that allows for international travel to allow him to pose as a globe-trotting manager and coach of MMA fighters. His mission as a confidential informant: penetrate the Muslims of the Americas, otherwise known as MOA. The U.S. network affiliated with historically Pakistan-based Sheikh Mubarak Ali Gilani and long scrutinized and declassified reports for paramilitary training and fraud. MOA is not a designated foreign terrorist organization, and so far the U.S. government's posture on them has been to monitor them, disrupt their crimes, and assess the threat that they pose. And this is important to note that when I call them a terrorist group or an extremist group, that is my opinion, because there are no court documents to suggest that they have been officially charged or designated as a terrorist group, because the FBI monitoring an extremist group does not equal a proof of charge. So while it may be my opinion that they are a terrorist group or an extremist group, the FBI does not officially recognize them as so. And this is who Ali was charged with the task of infiltrating for information. Ali moves in and out of ISLAMBERG in Hancock, New York, circa 2004 to 2006. He ingratiates himself in MOA, teaching the Quran in Arabic, showing martial arts and teaching them, donating money that he earned as an informant for spying on them to their organization. He befriends the leader of the Canadian wing of MOA, Hussein Adams, son of Barry Adams, a convicted plotter in the 1991 Toronto bomb conspiracy. Multiple former members describe MOA's, quote, military squad pipeline operating under innocuous shells, security companies foremost among them. One such hub was White Hawk Security International, otherwise known as WHSI, based in Meherrin, Virginia, and led by Jamal Johnston. According to counter-terror sources quoted in declassified material, White Hawk security personnel trained with advanced firearms and sought state credentials in security and private investigator work. Quick break. If you're loving this video and you want more from Fight Society, click that join button down below to become a channel member today, where you'll get access to members-only live streams, behind-the-scenes vlogs, and all the unfiltered stuff that we don't post to the main channel. Back to the video. 2005 and 2006, 8 vetted MOA, quote, military squad members take guard/armed courses in Virginia, declaring employment with White Hawk. Their range scores repeatedly outpace many of the trainees. Course materials include counter-terror modules funded by Homeland Security grants. Investigators collect enrollment photos and range day stills. Ali enrolls too, passes one class, and then says he left for work related to Venezuela and Trinidad, both places where MOA was looking to spread and grow. Declassified FBI and Army summaries paraphrase concerns of money moving through shell companies, security licenses used to place members in sensitive positions, training that appears offensive in nature despite self-defense claims, and overseas intelligence indicating U.S. security procedures being studied by extremists abroad. Now, all of these accusations kind of sit with a little bit of caution, because a lot of things that MOA did are legal. Owning guns, self-defense, martial arts, and combat classes, incorporating their own businesses. And those things being legal is what made the prosecution against them so difficult. And that's also what made a confidential informant on the inside, like Ali Abdelaziz, so valuable to the point where they paid him hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. Ali also told author Martin Moyer he entered a marriage at ISLAMBERG in 2005 to a young woman nicknamed Fatima, who was the daughter of a senior member of MOA. And this was portrayed as an access move into the inner workings of Muslims of America. Many people do say that Ali married an underage girl in an arranged marriage. People have speculated as young as 13, 14, or 15. Other people have said 17 or 18. And a lot of the claims of her age at the time and the family ties are contested. And I'm not trying to assert a crime on Ali, although it does appear to be the case. We only include this because Ali himself discussed how valuable that marriage was in covering him as a confidential informant. And many former members in MOA said that marriages were arranged to bind alliances within the group. How's Noah? Or more importantly, who is Noah? At UFC 229, Conor McGregor weaponizes Ali's past. He calls him a terrorist snitch and shouts, "How's Noah?" and hammers the point that Ali once booked a September 11th, 2001 return flight under a false identity. Details echoed in reporting and police narratives from that era. Many of us in the MMA community know that Noah is widely understood to be the son that Conor McGregor referred to that Ali Abdelaziz allegedly fathered and then abandoned. And various reporters have claimed that there are child support disputes in court tied to this allegation. A crucial thing, one thing to mention, is that there is no public record of that being the case, and Ali has not provided details, but there is plenty of information and discourse about this on the internet. Now, as for the terrorist snitch bars from Conor, the snitch part refers obviously to Ali Abdelaziz's informant years with the NYPD and FBI. The terrorist label is Conor making his own assumptions, but that's not actually a court finding about Ali. As true as it might seem, there is no public record showing that. And I'm not trying to defend him here. I'm just trying to defend myself for the sake of putting out this video. The split with the FBI. According to Enemies Within, after Ali was detained in Egypt in 2008, the FBI pushed a polygraph. The Bureau's summary read, "Deceptive with no admissions. Terminated by NYPD." The FBI then broke off use of Ali as a source. The Department of Homeland Security later moved to deport. Ali tried to get political asylum in 2011, and he was granted it, asserting that he would be in danger if he was sent back to Egypt. During the confidential informant window, Ali says that he traveled to Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt in MOA contexts, sometimes to help set up Jamaats, their communities, their strongholds. Sources in the Caribbean and U.S. counter-terror community have long tracked MOA activity in Trinidad. And this just shows you how wide and global Ali's informant operation really was and how deep this double agent shit went. After being terminated by the FBI and being granted political asylum in the U.S., he started the second act of his life in America, which was managing MMA fighters. And he very quickly scaled that business. I don't know how, but he very quickly scaled that business, signing champions, contenders, up-and-coming prospects, and very quickly found himself in an executive/matchmaker role with the World Series of Fighting, which is now the PFL. His role with WSOF drew some serious concerns about conflict of interest. Reporters and the State Athletic Commission scrutinized that an executive/matchmaker should not also be managing fighters. A clear conflict of interest because fighters that he was managing, who he got a cut of their purse, of their win bonus, of their show money, of any knockout or performance bonuses that they got, anything like that, he got a cut of it. And he was also their matchmaker. So many speculate, including myself, that this is just dirty, almost finessing the system and booking your fighters easy fights so they get performance bonuses, win bonuses, and he gets a cut of that. And there was WSOF cards where Ali managed over half of the fighters on the card. And as those questions rose, Ali Abdelaziz stepped away from his role at WSOF and went back to just solely managing through Dominance MMA. Some time went by, the World Series of Fighting became the PFL, and on October 11th, 2019, at a PFL event in Las Vegas, Ali Abdelaziz allegedly struck fellow manager Abe Kawa in a VIP section. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department cited Ali for misdemeanor battery, and PFL barred him from events pending resolution. A separate misdemeanor battery case involving UFC fighter Michael Johnson was also on the docket in that window. Clearly, Ali causes trouble wherever he goes. Now, it's becoming very clear that throughout any facet of his life, whether it is in an extremist group, working with the government, or working with MMA fighters and MMA promotions, in my opinion, that he is a straight scumbag. And it's been shown so many times that Ali Abdelaziz is a terrible person to be around in the MMA landscape. His day-to-day operations include threatening reporters, saying that his fighters will never come on their show again, banning Ariel Helwani from interviewing his fighters, threatening to pull access if these journalists and YouTubers and people like that do not cover his fighters or himself favorably. And it's widely accepted and admitted by Ali himself that many trash-talking posts that are on his fighters' Twitters were written by him himself. And this is a major problem considering that Ali Abdelaziz not only manages the biggest fighters in the world, it's not just the big-name Muslim fighters like Khabib, it's people like Justin Gaethje, Henry Cejudo, Kamaru Usman, Rener de Ridder, many fighters from other parts of the world as well. And he brings these big-name fighters around one of the most controversial figures in the world, Chechnyan warlord Ramzan Kadyrov. This is also the warlord that many people speculate essentially has held Khamzat Chimaev hostage, given Khamzat Chimaev's worshipping post just a couple days ago on Instagram of Ramzan Kadyrov. Ramzan Kadyrov has been alleged of ethnic cleansings, of mentally challenged people, of sexual minorities, and there have been plots against his life by his own soldiers. And he remains friends with Putin. So you have some of the most famous, well-accomplished UFC fighters, celebrities literally, going to fire guns with Ramzan Kadyrov's son on his birthday. And Sean O'Malley even notes that he was invited to this as well. So this is a racket that goes on behind the scenes where UFC fighters get paid money to spend time with some really, really shady figures. It almost equates these UFC fighters to the girls that get flown to Dubai for a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same vibe. Justin Gaethje, all these guys, you know, taking money to go hang around people that seriously damage their reputation. At UFC 320, Alex Pereira bullies Magomed Ankalaev and finishes him in 1 minute and 20 seconds. After that, Pereira posts an AI-generated meme of Ankalaev sleeping and holding a tire, a nod to Pereira's past in a tire shop and to the pre-fight trash talk from Ankalaev's account about sending him back to the tire shop that ended up being from Ali. Alex Pereira also went directly at Ali Abdelaziz, commenting on how he talks on behalf of his fighters, but then smiles cage side while they get beat up. And after the fight, Ali Abdelaziz takes to Instagram and says that everything he posted on behalf of Magomed Ankalaev was approved by Magomed Ankalaev. So hey, I know one of my champions no longer has the belt and he just got embarrassed in Vegas as the away guy because everybody wanted Pereira to win there. I know my guy just got beat up and embarrassed, but hey, let me cover himself and make sure that he survives like the true cockroach that he is. And that line that he says matters because it confirms what many of us expected as Ali writes tweets for his fighters. And it's a useful tactic for promotion, honestly, because somebody like Magomed Ankalaev has zero promotional skill, but it does force the fighters like Magomed Ankalaev to cash the checks that Ali is writing on their Twitter accounts. Ali Abdelaziz also hinted that Magomed Ankalaev fought with a broken rib, and he said that he told Ankalaev to pull out and congratulated Pereira while reminding people you win some, you lose some. Whether that's just a cope or not is for the fans to decide, but the bigger pattern remains. Ali, not a fighter, often becomes a big part of the fight. We saw this with UFC 229, and we saw this with UFC 320. And if you missed that, I did do a full breakdown and reaction titled Ali's Cope after UFC 320 and Wyatt backfired. But the TLDR is that essentially he's a shitty manager that writes the checks, but he's not the one getting dropped by Alex Pereira. So where does that leave the story? Documented facts. Ali used forged identities, was convicted on misdemeanor accounts tied to impersonation, became a paid informant for the NYPD and FBI, lived and operated around MOA extremist groups, facilitated and attended firearms, and martial arts training circles connected to White Hot, later faced a conflict of interest scrutiny and was cited by Las Vegas Metro PD for an assault. The things that are disputed or unverified include specifics about his abandoned son Noah, who allegedly has filed child support claims against him, the age of Fatima when they got married. Some speculate she was of age and others speculate she was not. And it's also in dispute just how much of a terror threat MOA poses in the US today. These remain as claims and paraphrases from declassified summaries, but those last few things are not proven crimes against Ali. But what is undeniable is Ali Abdelaziz's influence and his ability to survive, because he very much reminds me of a cockroach. Through all these terrible, nuclear fallout type situations, he's the only species to survive. Through terrorist groups, through possibly getting deported. He probably has other things that are undocumented in other parts of the world that he's caught up in as well. He is a shady figure, and he sits at the crossroads of UFC title pictures, UFC championship negotiations, UFC contracts. He has a dense network of pro athletes that really allow him to have a lot of pull in the sport and really bully journalists, YouTubers, reporters, and all of that around just for access to him and his fighters. Now, this becomes very murky waters as the UFC heads into a $7.7 billion deal with Paramount Plus next year. We have to point out their ties to some very shady figures. They are taking a lot of money from the Middle East. They have people like Ali Abdelaziz that are managing their biggest fighters, their biggest stars. Some of the biggest fights that have ever taken place were negotiated by Ali Abdelaziz. And he is, in my opinion, a shady figure that muddies the waters and makes this sport so much less legit when you have somebody that is this in the gray area, is what I'll say. This much in the gray area where he's just tiptoeing the line of extremist groups and terrorism and also potentially married an underage girl in an arranged marriage in the US. And he was granted political asylum here, and he's a very public figure in the UFC landscape and other combat sports as well. As much as I hate to say it, he has a lot of pull in the industry, and there is a lot of shady details about this man that manages some of your favorite fighters and puts them around some even shadier figures. The UFC is on Disney right now because they're on ESPN, and they're about to go to another major network. They're about to be at the White House on CBS in about 8 months. And the UFC has direct ties to shady oil money from the Middle East, Ali Abdelaziz, and indirectly ties to Ramzan Kadyrov as well. Now, if you liked this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, like this video as well. And do me a favor, we're trying to blow this one up. Hit the hype button down below. It's a new feature that helps small creators like myself get more push in the algorithm. So, like, subscribe, hype this video. If you want access to bonus content and you want to help me make this my full-time job, hit that join button down below and become a channel member as well. Now, there's a lot of sketchy stories in UFC, MMA, and combat sports as a whole that have happened throughout the years. So let me know down below, right below this video, what you want to see as my next deep dive. Thank you for watching. My name is Wyatt, and this is Fight Society. Do you want more from Fight Society? Like and subscribe below this video and click the join button to become a channel member today to get access to behind the scenes vlogs and members only live streams.